Advanced Number Skills 2, multiplying by 5 and using knowledge of tables to calculate mentally. So in this question, number 10, 9.90 divided by 33. You can do this in your head very quickly. Let me show you how. So if I were to ask you, which is the bigger number, 9.9 or 9.90? If that was money, how much would you have? 9.9 and 9.90. How much money would you have? So in both of these, you have £9 and 90 pence. We don't need to put the 0 here, but it's there. And in the second one, 9.90, £9 and 90p, you've got 9 tenths and no hundredths. So to calculate this question, 9.9 divided by 33, I'm going to cross out this 0 just to make it a little bit easier in the way that I look at it. So 9.9 divided by 33. That's what I've changed it to. It's exactly the same as the above calculation. Now I'm going to change that further. I'm going to say 99 divided by 33. So that means how many 33s are there in 99? Well, you know that there are 3. So next I'm going to ask you, what's the relationship between 9.9 and 99? What have I done to 9.9 to get to 99? I have made 9.9 10 times bigger. So my answer, 3 here, it's 10 times too big to the answer that I need to the question of 9.9 divided by 33. So what do you think I'm going to do to that answer to compensate for the fact that it's 10 times too big? I'm going to divide it by 10. So what's 3 divided by 10? The answer is 0.3. So let's look at another question. This next one is 8.80 divided by 44. Let's get rid of that 0 and let's look at 8.8 divided by 44. And again, this is very straightforward. I'm going to change 8.8 to 88. What's 88 divided by 44? Well, you know that 44 will go into 88 2 times. So what's the relationship between 8.8 and 88? So what did I do to 8.8 to get to 88? I multiplied it by 10. So what do you think I've got to do to this answer now? Because it's 10 times too big, I've now got to divide it by 10. And 2 divided by 10 is 0.2. So that's how you do this question. 8.80 divided by 44 is 0.2. And you can put another 0 on the end. Doesn't change the meaning. 0.2 is 2 tenths. And when you pop a 0 on the end, it's still 2 tenths. Let's look at one more. So here, I'm going to do 7.7 divided by 11, just because it's slightly easier to look at and think about. So I'm going to change 7.7 to 77 divided by 11, and you know that's 7. What did I do to 7.7 to get to 77? What's the relationship between 7.7 and 77? I've made it 10 times bigger. So this answer, 7, is 10 times too big for the answer that I need to the question 7.7 divided by 11. So what am I going to do to it? I'm going to make that 10 times smaller. What is 7 divided by 10? It's 0.7. So that's how you do those questions. Let's look at a different style of question, multiplying by 5. So what are we going to use in our mathematical toolkit that's going to help us answer these questions? So I'm going to multiply 716 by 10. And that's really easy. I know the answer is 7,160. But the question is 716 multiplied by 5. Now, since 5 is half of 10, what do I need to do to 7,160? I need to half it. I need to divide it by 2. So let's do that. Half of 7,000 is 3,500. Half of 160, well, I'm going to do that in one step because I know half of 16 is 8. So half of 160 is 80. Add those two together, that's 3,580, and that's my answer. Now, you don't even have to do all of this writing down. This is just a written down version of your mental rehearsal. If you can look at the question and do that in your head really quickly, and you will be able to in time, then just go with it. Okay, let's look at another one. So here I'm going to multiply 937 by 10. That becomes 9,370. And I'm going to half this because 5 is half of 10. And that equals half of 9,000 is 4,500. Half of 300 is 150. Half of 70 is 35. Add them all together, that is 4,685. 4,685. Okay, let's go off to my next question. So I'm going to multiply this by 10, which is 2,590. I want to know the answer to 259 multiplied by 5. 5 is half of 10, so let's divide this number by 2. Let's half it. Half of 2,000 is 1,000. Half of 500. Well, half of 50 is 25, so half of 500 is going to be 250. Half of 90 is 45. So that is 1,295. And again, if you can do that in your head quickly just by looking at the calculation, go with that. Okay, one more. So multiply it by 10 and half it. That's what we're going to do. 8,790 divided by 2. Half of 8,000 is 4,000. Half of 700 is 350. Half of 90 is, half of 90 is 45. Let's pull that together. That becomes 4,395. 4,395. Okay, and one more question. Number 19, 0.4 times 7. Well, you know that 4 times 7 is 28. What's the relationship between 0.4 and 4? 0.4 is 10 times smaller than 4. So what do we do to 28? We make it 10 times smaller. And what's that called? You divide it by 10. Your answer becomes 2.8. So 0.4 multiplied by 7 is 2.8. And that's how you do these questions in a nice, easy way. You will get better at them by practicing them. Don't shy away from them. Make sure you do a few every day.